Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming. This is an amazing turnout. We actually had another 300 people on the waiting list, so we're just blown away by the support we have for NEO here in Sydney. So thank you all for coming. As my colleague Tyler said, my name's Chris, and I'm a developer for City of Zion and co-founder of Moonlight. Alan will talk about that shortly. So tonight I'm here representing City of Zion. City of Zion is a group of open source developers who are creating tools for the NEO platform. We're all volunteers. We build the stuff that we think is cool. So tonight I'm going to briefly talk about what City of Zion is, some of the cool projects that we work on, where it came from, and hopefully how we can get more people to join. So can I get a show of hands, who here is a developer or interested in becoming a blockchain developer? All right, I'm probably in the wrong crowd, but I have some info for consumers as well. But so City of Zion, this is a shot from Discord. We're all just... City of Zion was founded by 9 people who recognised a gap in, or a need for people to expand on the open source framework that Eric and Dara gave us. It's expanded to over 50 members, and that's official members. And an official member is somebody who's been given access to create repositories in GitHub. There's a lot more people on Discord who are currently contributing. Another show of hands, who here has used Neon Wallet? Oh yeah, all right, that's all I did. Okay, so Neon Wallet's probably, arguably, the most popular project that COZ does. It's developed by volunteers, developed primarily by this man who we'll talk about next shortly. COZ is essentially funded by community donations and the NEO Council. And the funding, all right, we're open source volunteers, what do we need funding for? We host a lot of things, but the developers are rewarded for their contributions. Those contributions are judged, essentially, by the COZ Council. And people make a big enough contribution, then they're rewarded with NEO. We operate through GitHub. All of our work is MIT licensed. So to even be considered for a award, you have to release your source code so that other people can build on it. And that's probably one of the fundamental requirements of COZ, that we're not trying to create a closed ecosystem, we're trying to give people the tools to build cooler stuff than we can even think of. So some of the community projects, full nodes, NeoPython, NeoJS, NeoGo, working on nodes in a variety of languages, and the reasoning there is well, actually, not many people were developers, but if you're a developer, you have a language that you're good at. We're not asking you to go and learn some new language that you've never used before, a learning curve. We want people to have access to the tools that they already know. Contract development. You can develop contracts now in Python, Go, C#. We're working on JavaScript, and there's C# debuggers. I'll skip over the debuggers and the wallets. Neon, very good show of hands. Anybody use the O3 mobile wallet? Well, not many people. If you've got an iOS device, check out O3 wallet. It's made by COZ guys as well. Neolink, Chrome extensions, GUI developer. Essentially the official clients, but we're making them easier for developers to use. Explorers, monitors, SDKs, Neo Tracker, being able to look up the transaction history. They're all sorts that we've made. Everything that I've talked about is available on GitHub. I'm having a technical problem. Oh, there we go. So one of the initiatives that the COZ Council has run is the DAP competitions. It's been 2 so far. The first one ran in November, and it was an initiative to try and promote the development of real applications on the NEO framework, so that we're not talking about a theoretical smart contract development system, we're talking about something that people are actually developing apps on. Some really cool projects came out of that. NEO Smart IoT, number one, being able to interact with Internet of Things devices via a contract invocation. Send some gas and your light switch turns on or off or things rapidly. Some really cool projects there. 37 submissions in the second DAP competition, which just wrapped up. I'm not sure if the winners have been announced yet, but we've essentially received double the amount of DAPs since November. It's showing really great growth in the NEO community. A lot of the projects that I've talked about are developer specific, but we also curate this GitHub repository called Awesome Neo. We call it Awesome Neo because Neo is awesome. Guys are probably more interested in the blogs, exchanges, wallets. There's a lot of problems with the blockchain community where people buy AdWords or what have you and try and get you to go to their hacker website to steal your information. This is a great place to start if you're looking for a trusted source of information. Why is it trusted? Because it's open source, created by community. There'll be a QR code link at the end if you would like to scan that. Again, probably the wrong crowd for this conversation. We're forming a developer user group, trying to foster the creation of smart contracts locally, to solve potentially Australian problems, but more to have a presence that people looking to get into this industry, because it's a very new industry. They have a point of contact that they can work with people. The developers that are here, if you're interested, send us an email to sydney@moonlight.io. We're planning to meet quarterly initially, but we'll also be doing workshops online. So joining City of Zion, it's really easy. We need you to take the blue pill. But, right, that's the last Matrix joke. There's no formal process for joining COZ. All we ask you to do is contribute using the MIT license, and you'll be invited to join. Find something that you're passionate about, contribute it, and that's really all it takes. It's the QR code for the Awesome Neo repo. Highly recommend it. Just for it, there's blogs, there's all kinds of information there. It's a Neo 101 repository. My presentation is probably the shortest of the night, so thank you all, and look forward to the next slide.